March to Jerusalem already started. Turkey, Qatar, they are on it after the defeat of Zionists in Gaza. It is now very clear that the Zionists are good for nothing. They are not really a challenge. They are a diaper army. They have proven that time and time again. Now let's actually share this particular video with you guys first. As you can see on the screen, this guy is losing it. Ben-Gvir, he's the, I think, the defense or security minister. I don't know this lunatic what he works for, in which position in the Israeli government. But we'll be playing that video to give you an idea how pathetic he looks like and how desperate he is right now to cancel the ceasefire deal with Hamas in Gaza. But before I move on, just to remind you, most of my viewers are not subscribed. To get all the updates, consider subscribing to my channel. Take a listen at this video first.
להפסקת הלחימה. בכך למעשה העסקה הזאת תסיים את כל ההישגים שהצלחנו והבאנו למדינת ישראל. לא זו בלבד, היא אינה מובילה לשחרורם של כל החטופים. חורצת את גורל יתר החטופים, והיא תוביל לסיום המלחמה. כאשר חמאס טרם הובס ולא השגנו את מטרות הלחימה. כאשר רואים את צהלות השמחה של תומך החמאס איימן עודה, כאשר רואים ושומעים את הריקודים בעזה, את הצהלות ביהודה ושומרון, מבינים מי הצד שנכנע בעסקה הזאת.
Of course, I mean, even though, as I said, he's just a lunatic, but he is right. He's right that they have lost it. The moment they sign on this paper, ceasefire, I think it was already signed without the approval of the ministers in Israeli government. But once it is finalized, the moment it is finalized, that is signing on their death certificate. Zionism is signing on their death certificate, literally, because after that, and it will be passed. In fact, the ceasefire agreement is already going to be passed very, very soon. Once that happens, that's the end of Zionism. People will not be afraid of them. They cannot scare anybody else. They cannot brag about their military prowess. They cannot boast about expanding Israeli territories, the greater Israeli thing. This is done. This is done deal for the Zionists. This is the end of them. And Ben-Gvir, this guy, even though, again, as I said, he is lunatic, but he is speaking his mind and he is speaking the truth, that this is exactly where we're heading. But there is really no other way around it. They are stuck in Gaza. They're losing their soldiers. They're getting killed every single day. Dozens of them getting killed, at least half a dozen every single day. Again, every single day, not in a week. Every single day happening. I have reported, I don't know how many, I cannot even count now. So many of the Zionist terrorists, they lost their lives in Gaza in the last few days. Just the last few days. They are stuck. They want to get out of the situation. And so the only way is by signing on that paper. Yes, we agreed to a ceasefire. And once they sign on the paper, it's done. Zionism is done. The greater Israel ambition is done. How can they claim that Israel will become a greater Israel in the future when they cannot even capture small tiny land of Gaza? So people will laugh at them. They have become laughing stock. So Ben-Gvir, this lunatic, he is right. What he's saying here is absolutely 100% true. Except that obviously he's calling Hamas, terrorists and all that, resistance forces as terrorists. He should also call his forces as terrorists and genocidal maniacs too. But for some obvious reason, he's not going to do that. What is interesting now is Israel, as we see, they are getting more and more desperate, and they're getting more and more aid from Western governments, especially from US. Now France looks like is pitching in. Take a look at this report here. I just want to actually bring up my pointer so that I can point to those keywords here. So Rafael is a technology company from France, I believe. They are going to be helping Israel to upgrade the system, Iron Dome system, because obviously US's technology failed It failed. THAAD missile system, everything that was hyping about it, everything got so hyped up, like, oh my God, US is sending THAAD system. They have now third system in Israel. Oh my God, nobody can fire any missile towards Israel. It's done. And then the next thing you know, Houthi missiles are falling or raining down on Israel. And now they are going to France, or France is coming to them actually, because France is also pro-Zionist. Macron is a pro-Zionist. He loves them. They are now helping them. Germany is helping them. And the $5.2 billion deal with the defense technology firm Rafael Advanced Defense System is the first of its kind under a U.S. aid. So whatever U.S. is sending, I think they're sending like $8 billion in aid. They are going to be spending more than half of it to build a defense system that failed miserably. What is the guarantee? I mean, I can guarantee you that this $5.2 billion will be wasted completely. That they're going to give it to Rafael technology. It will be a complete waste because nothing is working. You cannot have that kind of defense system where your enemy cannot fire or launch missile attacks on you. Now, this is why I think, as I said, the end of Zionism, this is why Qatar is now also convinced, Turkey is convinced that Israel, Zionist, Western governments, they're very, very weak when it comes to warfare because they heavily rely on technology. They do not have the bravery. If you do not have bravery, you cannot win war. Maybe you can fire some missile with your remote control, Netanyahu from his underground bunker, Ben Gavir from his underground bunker, the IDF chief of staff and all those people, they never come out in public because of the fear that they might be targeted with those missiles coming from Hezbollah. Can you imagine? This is how brave they are. They go and visit a mountain. I think the last time they went to Syria just for PR, just for some photo ops. That's it. Once that's done, let's go home, get under the bunker, man. Let's take a listen what the Qatari Qatar's Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani in Damascus calls on Israel to immediately withdraw its forces from buffer zone with Syria as he holds talks with Ahmed al-Shara, leader of Syria's new administration. Take a listen.
The situation in Syria, the humanitarian situation requires the concerted efforts of the international community and the continued provision of support. It is also necessary to consider lifting the sanctions imposed on Syria as quickly as possible, given their negative effects on the growth of this support by countries. I would also like to stress in this context that the Israeli occupation seizure of the buffer zones is a reckless and condemnable act, and it must withdraw immediately.
Yeah, immediately. Get out of Syria. What are you doing in the buffer zone? Get out of it. Qatar has a lot of money, billions of dollars. They can spend all this money to help Turkey and Syria. Help Turkey to invest in Syria and help Syria to obtain Turkish technology, especially those Bayraktar drones that they can easily use to decimate. I can promise you, few Bayraktar, those drones, Turkish drones, can decimate Israeli forces in Syria. They will never ever come back. That's how deadly and fatal those drones are that Turkey has. So all they really need now is to, push Israel to get out of Syria, keep on saying this, demanding it over and over again. And then once they are convinced that the international community, they know what Israel is doing and they remain silent, then Qatar and Turkey with Syria, they're going to take action. Good old days for Israel is gone where Assad was all helping Israel, all talk, no action. Assad actually worked against Iran and for Israel because he was so scared of Netanyahu. Those good old days are gone for the Zionist state. Now Syrian government, Syrian military, if they can have one, a strong one, will have money from Qatar and technology from, or weapons from Turkey and fighters from Syria. The Syrian fighters are from different part of the world. They're not all of them are Syrian. A lot of them are actually coming from Uyghur, from Iraq, so many different places. Asham is an area that is being recognized by so many people from so many different parts of Muslim world in the Middle East. So they all converge to Asham, and they don't care which nationality you are, as long as you're part of Asham. So Asham will be like Lebanese, Syrians, and then you have also Palestine. So all of these fighters, they recognize themselves to be Asham because that's how the prophecy was made. This is what the Muslims believe. That's the hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that you guys are Asham. You're not Iranian, you're not Iraqi, you are not Philistine, you are not Syrian, you are Asham. When you combine all of this together, you get a disaster for the Zionists. And now, as I said, Turkey and Qatar, they are already taking some steps. So Turkish Airlines, they have now said that we're not going to allow Iranian or Israelis to board Turkish airline, those planes, and go to Syria. There are some exceptions made for the people of Lebanon and I think Iraq, and also Syrians living overseas, as long as you show passport. So they are very, very strict. And every country has the right to defend themselves. So like United States, they're protecting their borders. So you cannot just allow people to come in, right? Left and right. You do not know who is coming in. Could be your enemy. Could be the Zionists. I mean, Jew, they infiltrated pretty much every place on earth. They are even in Mecca. They disguise themselves as Arab and they show up in Mecca, in front of Kaaba, and they take picture. Hey, I'm a Jew. They are not allowed to go to Kaaba, but they infiltrate. These are thieves. They're professional liars and thieves. So Turkey and Syria and Qatar, they're making it very clear and making it very hard for these infiltrators to get into Syria and create chaos. Now, when we talk about Jerusalem, March to Jerusalem, we have to understand this history. So it was posted on October the 3rd, 2021, so long before the genocide in Gaza started. Somebody said, on this day, October 2nd, 1187, Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi captured the city of Jerusalem. Christian crusaders surrendered the city to the Sultan after 12 days of siege. Once the city was captured, Sultan allowed the freedom of worship to all religions in the city. And today we have Masjid al-Aqsa getting violated every single week. The lunatic Ben Gavir, he storms the site whenever he feels like, this guy. He goes and storms Masjid al-Aqsa. And finally, just want to show you guys what Zionism is really about. I want to play this clip from Loki.
You're talking about asymmetrical warfare. But you know, the thing that Israel doesn't remember, and which Israel has to know and must know, that winning a war is not about killing on an industrial scale the weakest among the population you are targeting, which Israel excels at, which is the essence of Zionism. Winning a war is about the largest amount of people being convinced of your viewpoint. If we use that metric to understand this war, Israel has lost in Gaza and it will lose in Lebanon because Israel has more enemies around the world than ever before. More people are critical of Zionism than ever before. More people understand it to be essentially an anti-life ideology, which is causing mass human suffering. We're talking about
Did you hear what Piers Morgan was saying? And Loki was lecturing him straight for 44 seconds here. Obviously, Piers Morgan, he gets lectured all the time because this guy is not just only a mouthpiece, a pathetic liar, but also an ignorant one. He doesn't know a lot of things, but he acts like he knows. He's knowledgeable, but he doesn't really know what is going on, especially in the real world. But he's so right, Loki is so right that Zionism is anti-life, because all they want to do and all they have learned all their life is kill, 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 unfortunately. Thank you guys for joining this session. I'll see you in the next video.